my name is Megan. Today I'll be reading a story from the book The Snow Queen and Other Stories by Hans Christian Andersen.
And hi, my name's Maxim. I'm Megan's little brother.
Maxim, your stuffed toy is too big. We can't see the book.
Oh, okay. I'll change and be right back.
This igloo book belongs to Megan
And Maxim.
Maxim, this time your stuffed toy is too small. We can barely see it.
Oh, okay. I'll change and be right back.
Let's start our story. The Snow Queen.
I'm back, sis. Is this one good?
Yes, it's perfect. Let's continue our story together.
Yes, please continue.
Once upon a time, there was a wicked sorcerer who created an enchanted mirror.
Sis, what does wicked mean?
A wicked person is a bad person.
How bad is bad?
Very, very, very bad. It's like a villain in the superhero movie.
Oh, I see. Now, please continue.
It had the power to stop people from seeing anything joyful and happy, so anyone who looked into it saw only the bad things in the world. Eventually, their hearts became cold and cruel, and this pleased the terrible sorcerer.
Sis, is sorcerer just made magic mirror to make people sad?
Yes,
That's so lame. If I was the sorcerer, I would make a giant robot to can shoot laser beams.
Maxim, this story is about a wicked sorcerer, not a mad scientist, so it won't have any robots or laser beams. It will have magic instead.
Oh, I see now. Please continue.
One day, the sorcerer was so filled with fright of his enchanted mirror that he flew up to the sky, laughing.
Up to the sky!
Maxim!
Oops, sorry.
In fact, he laughed so much that the mirror slipped from his hands, and when he dropped it, the mirror fell to earth.
Go to dirt!
Maxim!
Oops, sorry again.
It shattered into millions of tiny pieces that were carried off by the wind and blown across the world like snowflakes in a swirling snowstorm.
By the wind!
Maxim!
Oops, I'll stop.
The great wind, carrying pieces of the enchanted mirror, blew and settled in a pretty little town. Two friends called Kai and Gerda lived there and loved one another just as much as a brother and sister.
Sis, who was older, Kai or Gerda?
I think Gerda should be the big sister, Kai the little brother. See, it's like us. Same for Peppa Pig and George.
Okay, please continue.
When it was warm, Kai and Gerda loved playing in the rose gardens. When winter came, they listened to stories and legends about the Snow Queen. It was said that her cape was like a millions of starry snowflakes, but her icy touch would freeze even the warmest heart.
Sis, is that the same Snow Queen like Elsa in the movie Frozen?
Yes.
Then why is Elsa a good person and here the Snow Queen is a bad person?
Because Elsa's from Disney. And in Disney movies, everyone is nice. Else, we can't have a happy ending.
Oh, I get it now. Please continue.
One day, Kai looked up to the sky and laughed at the silly tales of the legendary queen. Suddenly, a tiny splinter of the magic mirror fell into his heart, and another pierced his. A tiny splinter fell into his eye, and another pierced his heart. As if his heart had turned to ice, Kai instantly became cold and cruel. I'm not playing with a silly girl, he said to Gerda, and ran off to play with the older boys.
Sis, was Kai really pierced in his eye and his heart?
Yes.
How come he's didn't die then?
If Kai died here, the story would end after only 4 pages, so Kai can't die here.
If Kai at least bleeding or was he hurt?
No, he just magically turned into a meanie.
That doesn't make sense.
Maxim, it's a fairy tale. Many things don't make sense in a fairy tale.
All right. Please continue.
Gerda cried as she watched Kai whispering and laughing at her with his new friends. Soon after, a magical glittering sleigh swept into the town. The woman inside had eyes that glittered like gold, twinkling diamonds. Her cape was made from snow, and her crown was made of ice. It was the Snow Queen, who Kai and Gerda heard tales of for so long.
Sis, is that the Snow Queen?
Yes.
Why does she look so different to Elsa?
Because this is not a Disney book, and she was drawn by a different artist.
Okay. Please continue.
No sooner had she arrived, and thick snowflakes began to fall. Then she leaped out of her sleigh and wrapped Kai in her icy embrace. Then she drove out of town into the long winter night.
Sis, why is the sleigh pulled by polar bears? Should it be reindeers instead?
No, reindeers are only for Santa's sleigh, and reindeers aren't scary enough to be used by the Snow Queen, so they were replaced by polar bears.
I see. Please continue.
Good. Gerda waited until spring for Kai to come back to their little town, but he did not return. As she sat beside the river, crying, she saw a small boat. She climbed carefully into it and floated down the river, hoping to find him.
Sis, Gerda didn't ask anyone permission to take that boat, right? Isn't that stealing?
Maybe the boat just appeared out of nowhere, like magic, so it didn't belong to anyone. It's a fairy tale after all.
Okay, sis.
On and on the little boat floated past woods and meadows until it came to rest by a magical flower garden. "Hello, child," said an old woman greeting Gerda outside her cottage nearby. The scent of the magical flowers was so sweet that Gerda soon forgot all about Kai.
Sis, this old woman looks like a witch. See the long pointy nose?
Maybe she's a witch, and the flowers had a curse to make Gerda forgot all about Kai.
If she's a witch, then Gerda shouldn't have spoken to her.
Yes, that's why we should never talk to strangers, in case they might be a witches in disguise.
Okay, got it, sis.
Gerda stayed in the cottage. Then, one day, in the furthest corner of the garden, she found a single pretty rose. Suddenly, she remembered Kai and began to cry. "He is not gone," whispered the rose. "I must find him," said Gerda, and she ran off at once to the dark woods.
What?
Wait, sis.
Wait, sis. The rose can talk.
Looks like it. Maybe it was a kid that got lost, like Gerda, and the witch transformed the kid into a rose.
That's scary, sis.
Yes. So again, remember, never talk to strangers.
All right.
Gerda ran until her feet ached. "I wish I could find Kai," she said sadly. Then a crow flapped his wings above her. There was a boy who came to a palace near here, called the Crow.
Sis, the crow can talk too?
Yes, it seems like the witch has turned another kid into a crow.
If it was me, I would prefer being turned into a crow than turned into a rose. At least I can fly away.
Gerda was sure that the boy spoke of must be Kai, so the crow took Gerda into an elegant palace nearby. To her disappointment, she did not find him there. Instead, she met a kind prince and princess. "You poor child," they said as Gerda told them her story sadly. "You must stay the night with us." In the morning, the prince and princess dressed Gerda in the finest silk and velvet. Then they sent her on the way in an elegant golden coach. "We hope you find your friend," they called as they waved goodbye.
Wow, the prince and princess are very kind. I wish I can meet a prince and princess like that. Then they can give me a car that can transform into a giant robot.
The little coach rattled over pebbles and stones on the winding forest path. It had not gone far when a band of robbers jumped out and attacked the golden carriage.
Sis, why did the robbers attack the carriage?
Because the robbers are poor. The carriage is made of gold, and they thought Gerda is rich.
That's a pity.
night, at the robbers' camp, a little robber girl watched Gerda as she sat with her reindeer by her side.
Look, sis. It's Rudolph.
No, it's not. The nose isn't red. Maybe it's Rudolph's brother.
All right.
The robber girl felt sorry for Gerda, as she looked frightened and seemed to be alone. Don't cry, she told Gerda, and all of her little and don't cry, she told Gerda, hugging her and listening to her tale. The robber girl decided to show Gerda all of her little animal friends to cheer her up. Soon they came across a pigeon who spoke of Kai.
Sis, the pigeon can spoke?
Yes, I think that's another kid that was turned into a pigeon by the witch.
Oh, I see. So this story is about how a witch turned kids into animals.
Where is he going? asked Gerda desperately. The pigeon told her he was traveling with the Snow Queen to Lapland.
Sis, did you say Legoland?
No, I said Lapland, not Legoland, not Disneyland, Lapland.
All right.
So then, all the robbers were asleep. The Kai robber girl put Gerda on her reindeer.
Hi again, Rudolph's brother.
Okay. Go and find the Lapland woman, she whispered. She will tell you how to find the Snow Queen. Through snowstorms and fierce winds, Gerda rode on the reindeer to the frozen plains where the Lapland woman lived.
Rudolph's brother is very brave here.
You poor things, she said when they reached the hut. You have a long way to go yet. You must go see the Finland woman, said the Lapland woman. She can tell you more about the Snow Queen.
Sis, why is taking so long to find the Snow Queen? Look, first it was the witch with the flower garden. Then it was the prince and princess. Then it was the robber girl and Rudolph's brother. And then it was the Legoland woman. And now is the Finland woman. When is Gerda going to search to reach the Snow Queen?
Oh, look, it's going to be on the next page.
Really?
Yes, please be a bit more patient. On and on went Gerda and her reindeer. Then, inside a warm, strangely decorated hut, Gerda found the Finland woman. What you seek is within your reach, said the woman. Gerda was overjoyed. Your friend isn't dead, but he is enchanted by a splinter from a magic mirror, and his heart is as cold as ice. Only your love can save him. You must travel to where the northern lights are brightest, and there you will find the palace of the Snow Queen.
Wow, this part sounds like how Anna searched for Elsa and saved Elsa with her love.
Finally, Gerda reached the palace of the Snow Queen.
Finally!
Its great eyes walled glittered coldly, and its empty halls were silent. In the middle of a crack and frozen lake, Gerda found Kai. His cheeks were blue and with cold, and the Snow Queen was by his side. As she bent down to give him the final kiss, that will turn him into ice once and for all, Gerda cried out to him, "No!" A trickle of warm tears ran down Gerda's cheeks onto Kai's frozen skin, and the splinter that had lodged in his heart was washed away. "I've missed you, Gerda," said Kai, hugging her. Kai began to cry, and as he did, the splinter of glass washed from his eye, freeing from the evil of the mirror. The Snow Queen's eye flashed angrily as she saw them together. "The strength of your love is no match for me," she cried. With that, she whirled around and was gone, like a snowflake melting on a warm summer's day.
Sis, is that it? So Gerda only cried and Kai was safe?
Well, yeah.
There was no magic power, no giant snowman, no sword fighting, just cry and everyone is safe?
Looks like it.
That's boring. I don't want to hear the rest of this story anymore. Bye.
From that day on, Kai and Gerda's friendship was stronger than ever. They returned to their own town, where they enjoyed every day like it was the first day of spring. The end. The moral of the story is, love can overcome many obstacles and win over a frozen heart. Thank you for listening to my story. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bedbugs bite. Bye-bye.